Across the nation, farmers and ranchers are wondering who will take the reins when they retire. The issue is growing, and even some state and federal officials are taking notice of the aging farmer trend. Walt Hagood may have found the answer for his operation southwest of Lubbock when he hired Clay Lyons, a recent Texas Tech graduate, at the start of his college career. Hagood is a fourth-generation cotton and grain farmer. He's been farming for more than 30 years, and now he is mentoring Lyons as he begins his own farming career.
He talked like he wanted to do something that was ag-related, and he just didn't want to be in an office all day. And so that's where the conversation first began. One day I just asked him, I said, have you ever thought about farming? And he just indicated to me that he'd love to, but, there was no opportunity for it.
Lyons was interested, but the overwhelming cost and capital investment was daunting. Hagood worked with a landlord and rented his equipment to get Lyons started.
I started farming in the, late 70s, early 80s, and it was really, really difficult in those times.
Hagood is now opening the same doors that were opened for him at the start of his career. After interviewing to rent some farmland near Lubbock, he got a call.
And I remember that the landlord told me, he said, well, I chose you. And I said, well, why? And he said, I want to go with the young guy. I never forgot that. If you stop and think about it, it's upon all of us to help somebody.
Hagood is passing the opportunities he had early in life down to Lyons, who he calls dedicated and willing to learn. Now Lyons is farming land on his own and is working on expanding. He thinks crop insurance is growing more important to Texas farmers trying to start in a high-risk situation.
Crop insurance is real important for me now. I probably wouldn't be doing it without a safety net.
Fortunately, Hagood was able to connect Lyons with banks and showed him the ropes in the business end of farming. Lyons values his experience with Hagood as much as a college degree.
I basically got another degree in farming while I was getting a degree in ag eco. If it weren't for Walt to be able to help me with the bank and help me get a budget set up and a plan, I don't know if I'd be farming or not.
Unfortunately, there are only a few stories like Lyons and Hagood's. An epidemic is sweeping across Texas farms and ranches, and veterans say it poses a threat to the nation's ability to grow food, fiber, and fuel. Floyd Ritchey and his wife Judy have farmed cotton in Mitchell County for 30 years, and he's uncertain about the industry's future.
And the expense that's involved with it, if you happen to miss a crop, it's going to be pretty hard to overcome now. It was hard back then, but not anything like it is today.
Although past the age most Americans retire, Ritchey, like many farmers, has no plans to throw in the towel. Despite slowing down a little and reducing acreage, this fall finds him preparing for another harvest. However, when Ritchey and 4 of his peers actually do retire, only one farmer under the age of 25 will start. That trend has been growing for the last 40 years. The world population is estimated to be more than 8 billion by 2030. Ritchey said feeding that many people is a tall order.
It's going to be hard to feed the world if some young folks step up and carry the ball. It's hard to predict. Maybe there'll be some young folks step up, but right now it doesn't look too good. It's just too big a risk.
As the number of U.S. farms dwindle, the average age of the farmer is rapidly rising. More than 40% of the farmers in this country are 55 years old or older, according to the U.S. Department of Labor. What's more is that few farmers are planning to hand down their operations to heirs. According to USDA information, less than 10% of the nation's more than 2 million farmers have plans in place to pass their land and operations to their children. However, when the handover does occur, it will represent one of the largest real estate transfers and related value in history. What might happen to that land after the transition leaves many questions and more doubts about the likelihood of it remaining in agricultural production. Despite the risks and challenges, there is hope.
Well, if it's something that you really want to do, well, I'd tell them to go for it, because usually the theory I've worked on, where there's a will, there's a way. If anything you do is going to be some risk, and there's a lot of expense to it. And it's very rewarding if you can get it situated and make it work for you the way you want it to work. It'll be a good life.
For TFB News, Nathan Smith, Lubbock.